Hey, we're My Chemical Romance. We're My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance are rock's grandiose kings of pain. Their dramatic and emotional music has transfixed a generation of listeners, winning over critics who thought they were just another band capitalizing on teenage angst.
You play shows every night, right? And if there's 4 kids at that show that really, really get it, and you've done something to help them, then it's worth everything.
But for these bright young musicians, the path to self-discovery was a tough one.
In the past 4 years, it's been like a really short time, but we've lived a lifetime in that 4 years and just really grown together as people.
The tragic events of 9/11 convinced Gerard Way and the rest of the band to make a pact to create powerful music that made a difference.
I gave up everything I had, which is already kind of nothing. But any kind of normalcy I gave up to do this.
While taking on the role as avengers for the underdog, the band was also a method to help cope with the boys' inner struggles. When money-hungry music execs got a taste of the band's incredible power, they wanted in. But instead of jumping at the opportunity, MCR stayed on the road, honing their chops and refining their image.
I mean, it's great that kind of shift happens. It's kind of like how you and your people start to get control in a way.
After a year on the road, they finally gave in and signed with Warner Brothers and Reprise Records and set about recording their second album.
I mean, I think what you do as an artist at this point in your life, when you've grown so much that you can't just repeat yourself, you have to really push yourself harder than ever before.
This time out, they had an endless supply of cash, new toys, and a state-of-the-art studio. Producer Howard Benson gave the band a valuable lesson in song structure, helping them to define their sound and storytelling technique.
Stories are missing from modern rock.
We're trying to be honest about the world and how dark it is, but then show you there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Their use of storytelling became intrinsic to the band's identity, something they had worked so hard for.
It is the longest quest you will ever undertake as a band. It either happens sooner or it happens later. It's just really starting to happen for us now.
Lyrically, they drew from life experiences, focusing on the Way brothers' recent devastating loss of their grandmother, Elena Lee Rush. Still reeling from Elena's death, the band got back on the road in anticipation of their upcoming album's release, joining the infamous Warped Tour, an out-of-control summer camp for punk rockers.
It's a hard tour, so you really gotta be very cooperative, and you can't go in with a shitty attitude.
Relishing an energizing return to the good times atmosphere, Gerard's partying quickly became excessive, and he often drank to cope with his shyness and stage fright. Soon, he was consuming a daily cocktail of antidepressants, alcohol, and cocaine. Ironically, the band's name was becoming a reality for Gerard. Interventions were fruitless. Gerard wanted to stay drunk. He depended on it to perform.
You play shows every night where thousands of people come to see you, and you're up on the stage playing, and it's hard.
Meanwhile, the group's second album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, was released in the middle of their private emotional firestorm. The record's slick, unusual sound was an instant hit with critics and fans, selling a whopping 11,000 copies in its first week, a major coup for an unknown band. But the exhilarating achievement was lost on the troubled frontman. It was a grim picture of the burdened singer suffering from the effects of his deadly addiction.
It's never a struggle really with them or the people you love. It's really within yourself. And that's what you find out, is that the struggle is all really internal.
And in July 2004, in a desperate bid to end the pain, Gerard's thoughts turned suicidal. He was in the depths of his darkest hour when manager Brian Schechter intervened. Miles away, Brian spent the night on his phone, talking down the frantic singer while the rest of the band slept. MCR's entire existence was in jeopardy.